We'll now get started and take questions for Mark Stone on the left, Nick Holden on the right. We'll hold a moment for a few questions to come through. Tonight, we'll start with Ben Goetz, Las Vegas Review Journal.
For Mark Stone, just what's the reaction? What's the reaction and emotions like after a game like that?
Hold up a second there, Mark. We can't hear you quite yet.
Me?
Good now, Mark. Thanks.
Yeah, like we didn't play well. They played a good game. They came out ready to go. They've been sitting there raring to go. We had to play a smarter first period, smarter start to the second. You just can't get down like that. But we'll flush this one. We'll see what we did wrong. There's a few areas that we were actually not bad at, but there's a lot of things that we need to improve going forward. And we're fortunate to have 2 days in between games here. A little bit of rest, a little bit of recover, regroup, and then be ready for Wednesday.
Next question tonight goes to Ron Futrell, Channel 8, Las Vegas.
Yeah, to Nick Holden, how much do you think that Mark talks about the rest? You guys having to go on just 2 games rest, and they had a week off after sweeping St. Louis.
Honestly, this time of year, anytime you can get rest is going to help your team. We had an emotional series there with Minnesota, and obviously coming into this, we were trying to ride that emotion into it. And our start of the second wasn't what we wanted. And I think these 2 days are going to be really good for our group. Just like Mark said, you get some recovery tomorrow and then start dialing it in for Wednesday's game.
Next, we'll go to David Shane, Las Vegas Review Journal.
Hi, Mark. Did you guys feel like you lost your cool a little bit after the Janmark hit? And what did you guys just think of that hit in general?
Defenseless player, it's a blindside interference. Obviously didn't like the hit. We lost the player. And, it's an interference, blindside hit. We're trying to get those out of the game. The game was 4-0. If we score in that power play, maybe changed a little bit, but when you're down 4-0, you try to get yourselves into the game anyway. And, we try to get physical. We kind of got away from our game, but let's be honest here. When you're down 4-0 halfway through the game, it's a long way to climb yourself out from. But we'll be ready on Wednesday. There's no doubt in our group.
We'll go to Justin Emerson, the Las Vegas Sun.
Nick, you and Shea were out there with the McKinnon line for quite a bit. They're obviously pretty good, but I guess what can you guys do in game 2 to try to slow them down a little bit?
I think just time and space. I think we gave their skill players just a little bit too much maybe respect, a little too much room, and obviously good players are going to make plays when they have space. So, I think that's something that we'll probably focus on a little bit more.
Guys, thanks for the time tonight. We'll open up to questions for head coach Pete DeBoer. We'll start with Ben Goetz, Las Vegas Review Journal.
Hey Pete, just what's the reaction and the emotions like after a game like that?
Well, obviously, you know, you're not feeling good about yourself. But I think we have to put it in perspective, and, you know, playoffs are about having short memories, and getting ready for the next one. So whether you lose 2-1 or 7-1, you know, you can debate the meaning of whether you lose badly or not badly. Bottom line was we weren't good enough tonight. They were very good. We've got to be better game 2.
Next, we'll go to Jesse Granger with The Athletic.
Jesse.
Hey, Pete, what was your messaging, if anything, to the team in the third period when things were kind of getting out of hand after the whistles?
Well, we talked about the third, going into the third, about, you know, let's try and get our game in a good place for game 2. You know, let's have a good period. And, you know, I thought for the most part, we went out and did that. You know, I think emotions get away. I think, you know, obviously the Graves hit on Janmark, and Janmark leaving with the injury. You know, that's tough to watch, a defenseless player, you know, and one of your teammates getting hit like that. And, you know, it's hard not to carry that emotion through the rest of the game.
Next question for Pete tonight comes from David Shane, Las Vegas Review Journal.
Hi, Pete. Can you just touch a little bit on the decision to go with Robin in goal, and just maybe the lack of defense in front of him and how frustrating that was to see?
Yeah, well, you know, the decision to go with Robin was Flower had just played 7 games in 14 days, and an emotional game 7. You know, it was a perfect opportunity in our minds to use our other starter, and that's been a strength of ours all year, and to make sure Robin got in a game and stayed sharp, because who knows when we're going to need him. So there was a lot of rationale for it. You know, I wouldn't change the decision. The game tonight wasn't about Robin Leonard. You know, obviously we didn't play well enough in front of him.
Time for a few more tonight with Pete. Next, we'll go to Justin Emerson, Las Vegas Sun.
Hi, Pete. You had mentioned the Janmark hit. Do you think that was kind of what spurred on what happened in the third period? And then I guess, what are your thoughts on how that was handled?
Yeah, you know, I don't know how it was handled. I haven't looked at the tape, and you know, I don't know the reason for the match penalty. So I'll have to look at that. For sure, the emotion in the game was a result of you know, one of your players being carried out with a dirty hit, and you know, that's hard to get past.
We'll take a few more here tonight with Pete. Next, we'll go to Christopher Chapman, Fox Sports, Las Vegas.
Christopher.
Yeah, hi, Pete. The message coming out of the Colorado locker room seems to be that Ryan Reeves was on a mission to hurt somebody in that third period. Just curious your response to that.
I don't have a response, but
Next, we'll go to Ron Futrell, Channel 8, Las Vegas.
Yeah, Pete, how much of a factor was you guys 1 day of rest? They had a week off going into this game. Did that play a factor, do you believe, in the outcome?
I don't know. We're not, you know, we haven't made excuses all year as a group for fatigue or playing short lineups or scheduling, or we're not going to start now.
Next, we'll go to Michael Kelly with the Associated Press.
Michael.
Hey, Coach, just quickly, is there an update on Janmark? If you know, what's his status going forward?
I don't have one. Obviously didn't return for the night, so not good.
Final question for Pete tonight goes to David Shane, Las Vegas Review Journal.
Hi, Pete. In the grand scheme of things, this probably doesn't matter a whole lot, but did you think their first goal was too many men on the ice with that line change?
You know what? There were so many goals tonight. I can't even remember their first goal, to be honest with you. I don't recall that catching my attention.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks all for the time tonight. That'll conclude the team's post-game media availability. We'll send out full recordings shortly. Thanks all.